Did you make a little news here? Didn't you say you hope to lead that committee?
I absolutely do.
A few moments later.
U.S. Representative Jasmine Crockett feels some way after recently opening up about her failed bid for committee leadership in the House of Representatives. And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you this content twice a day, every day. Now, y'all, hit that like button, okay? Help the channel out. Come on. Now, y'all, your girl, Jasmine Crockett. Y'all, Jasmine Crockett has been having a rough go of it. Have y'all noticed that the Democrats recently have started cursing and spitting and kind of running amok? They think that this is the way that they are best suited to confront Donald Trump. Have you noticed they've been talking about fight? I want to fight. Their word is fight, and their other word is the F-bomb. And Jasmine Crockett, she's like first and foremost among the Democrats who has just been potty mouthed, who has just been ratchet, who she's actually gone to the sister girl thing, if you know what I mean. And I think that she thought that doing so would ingratiate her into her party's leadership and maybe help her get into the leadership. No, was she wrong? The Democrats have roundly and resoundingly rejected Jasmine Crockett. And now a new article that came out, it was an interview with her, and she tried to shut the article down because it showed just how poorly she's doing among her own party. We can say, I don't know if kicked out of the Democratic Party, that's too strong of a term, but she was definitely resoundingly rejected, probably because she went full loco. I mean, what better word can I use? So let's take a look at this, y'all. But before we do, y'all, make sure you take care of your money. I'm not going to make this a long one, y'all. Go to Paralegold, PARALEGOLD.com, or call 844-651-8334, 844-651-8334. If you have $50,000 to $100,000 or more in your retirement, protected from inflation, protected from monetary debasement, you're about to retire. Make sure your money's still there and it's still worth something by investing at least some of it in gold. Talk to our partners at Augusta Precious Metals. Go click the link now, get the free information, and protect your precious retirement. Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett of Texas learned a tough lesson about dealing with reporters when she tried to shut down an in-depth profile that she had agreed to do. Leftist outlet The Atlantic provides harsh, sometimes factually challenged coverage of President Donald Trump. But if Crockett thought that meant that she would get a puff piece, she was strongly mistaken. Now, y'all, they did a 3,500 word write-up on Crockett that paints her as a self-absorbed political hack. Elaine Godfrey informed her readers toward the end that 4 days before the story was published, Crockett called me to express frustration that I had reached out to so many House members without telling her first. She told me, quote, shutting down the profile and revoking all permissions, y'all. Unfortunately for the 44-year-old politician, that's not the way it works. Y'all feel so bad for Jasmine. Y'all, I know y'all don't, but I do. Because she's playing the game the way her people are telling her to play it. That's what y'all have to understand. Trump says Crockett is low IQ. Crockett is not low IQ. Crockett is playing the role of low IQ because that is what the Democratic leadership apparently has decided they think is the best way to take on Trump. So Crockett has fully embodied that to the core. She's doing this as an act. She's doing this as a job, and she's doing a very good job of it to the point where people think that this is really her and she's not being rewarded for it. Godfrey quoted that the lawmaker using coarsest language imaginable to try to make her case. describing former President Joe Biden as old as SHI Young Teasy, but adding he's an old man that gets SHI Young Teasy done. Crockett told Dexter that she had big plans for oversight. Now, y'all, this refers to Crockett thinking she was going to get elected to the leadership of her House committee. She thought she was going to get elected to the leadership, y'all, because she's been doing what they want her to do. That's what y'all have to understand. She's doing what the Democratic Party wants her to do. It's not like she's just making this up. You can see other people doing the same stuff. She wanted to take hearings on the road and show voters that, quote, these M&F'ins Republicans are all complicit in Trump's wrongdoing, Godfrey reported. She also pointed to a Punch Bowl news story in late June reporting that during an Atlanta fundraiser, Crockett, quote, leaned into the idea of impeaching President Donald Trump, a stance that hasn't endeared her to members who have to run in districts that Trump carried. The same day the Punch Bowl report was published, 62, y'all, this is the key. Listen to this. That same day, 62 Democratic leaders met to decide which of the 4 oversight candidates, so oversight is the committee that Jasmine Crockett, she wanted to become the leader of. I believe that the leader passed away. She was, in the running to become the next leader. 62 Democratic leaders met to decide which of the 4 oversight candidates they'd recommend to the caucus. The vote was decisive. Garcia, who is not Crockett, obviously, with 33 votes was the winner. Crockett placed last with only 6, the journalist noted. So y'all, as you can see, Crockett has been rejected by her own party. Check this out. Finally, she let readers know that Crockett received 7,000 fewer votes in her re-election campaign in 2024 than her predecessor, the late Representative Eddie Bernice Johnson, did in 2020. In other words, though Crockett hails from a safe district in Dallas, she is losing support even there. So y'all, Crockett, she's playing the game the way that the Democratic leadership has decided to play it. You know what she's going to say? This is because of my demographics. And who knows? Maybe she's right. I don't know. But one thing I do know is she's played this role of cursing and spitting up a storm and getting ratchet and down and dirty. She's played it better than anybody. She's played it better than AOC. She's played it better than Bernie Sanders. She's played it better than anybody. But she got the least votes for what she considered, I would say, what seemed to me to be the most important potential role of her career, which was going to be the head of the House Oversight Committee. She wanted to talk about impeachment. She went too far, y'all. If you ever seen the movie Tropic Thunder, there's a reference in that movie where you never go full something. Well, she went full. So, y'all, what we're going to do is shoot into more detail about how the Democrats rejected your girl and how hurt she was and how she said she's going to fall back from these Democrats a little bit. I think it's going to be hard for her to do it. Where's she going to go? She's not going to become a Republican. She's going to be an independent. She's a person who has trained herself to open her big mouth. And yes, I am saying that, big mouth. And somebody like that, they can't close their big mouth, just like me. So let's go ahead and shoot into this report on how the Democrats rejected Crockett. This is going to give you additional details on how they rejected her for this important position. Y'all, something's going on with your girl, Jasmine Crockett, y'all. She was recently looked over for a promotion. You know how you watch the movies, sometimes you watch the news, watch a TV show, and there's a qualified, dynamic leader of a woman who doesn't get the job, and she says, I've been looked over for a promotion. And it's all upsetting. And we say, hey, that's not right. She was the best qualified person for the job. How come she didn't get it? And people say it's due to this, people say it's due to that. And there's always a suspicion. Is what you know, everybody has their suspicions, but what is the real reason? Well, y'all, that's happening to your girl Jasmine Crockett. It happened just this week, and now she's pulling back from her party, at least in certain ways, because I think she feels betrayed, y'all. So we're going to hop right into it. So you saw from the coming up that Jasmine Crockett said, yeah, I'm going for that leadership position on my committee. She's the ranking member. And frankly, she's one of the most prominent and one of the most outspoken members of her committee. And I think she probably felt she had a pretty good chance at getting the post. But no, like so many before her, she didn't. She got looked over. So let's take a look at exactly what happened. Here in this report, it says U.S. Representative Jasmine Crockett feels some way after recently opening up about her failed bid for committee leadership in the House of Representatives. On Monday, the popular Texas Congresswoman pulled her name out of the running to serve as the ranking member of the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform after she came in last place in a preliminary caucus vote. So vote, y'all. That's democracy, right? During a recent wide-ranging interview with the Griot, Crockett shared that she is having second thoughts about the time and energy she put into supporting Democrats in Congress following discussions about her candidacy for higher leadership. Oh yeah, that's the baby, y'all. She's sitting with me if you just heard that sneeze. About her candidacy for higher leadership in the caucus. Quote, I really gave a lot to the caucus. A lot of my time, a lot of my energy, as well as my treasure, said Crockett, who on Monday implied that she would take a back seat like the 92% of black women within the Democratic Party who were left disillusioned after the 2024 presidential election loss of former Vice President Kamala Harris. When asked to elaborate about whether she felt frustrated as a black woman, y'all know they got to just keep pounding you over the head with that, right? So, you know how journalism is these days. When asked to elaborate whether she felt frustrated as a black woman seeking a leadership role within the Democratic Party, y'all, what part? Isn't this the party where she should shine? You know? Crockett told the Griot there's absolutely a frustration as a black woman in America in general, but yeah, I won't deny that. I'm looking at my baby right now. Baby, I don't want you to feel frustrated. You're a winner. You don't have to. Never make excuses, baby. Okay? You're a winner. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Her disappointment with her party stems from communications behind closed doors while debating her candidacy for the oversight ranking member position. The powerful role would have made Crockett the top Democrat on a committee that is the main investigative body of the House. Quote, it was frustrating to hear over and over that I wasn't a team player, said Crockett, who had highlighted her fundraising prowess, which included raising more than $4 million for the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee and her attendance of more than 100 events as a surrogate for the party in the 2024 election. Quote, one of the reasons I laid out how much money I raised, how many trips I'd taken, how much money I'd given is because in my mind, I was the biggest team player, Crockett told the Griot. And so for me, it's not, going hard for the team. Then honestly, I have some figuring out to do as it relates to how it is that I can get a caucus that believes that I'm down for them. So y'all, I want to just give an opinion on this real quick. I've been critical of Crockett. I've said that she plays the hood role. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I don't like it. I feel like it's an act, but it's been working for her. She's gotten a lot of press. She's gotten a lot of attention. She has gotten the opportunity to go out for this role, and then she got to come in last place, which shows that other people don't like it either. But one thing I will say is this, y'all. The Democratic Party has been rewarding this type of craziness for other people. And in Crockett's defense, if you're playing for the party of crazy and you come out and you say, okay, well, I'm going to go crazy just like everybody else is going crazy. This is what we're doing. Let's do it. I'm going to do it. And then when you do it, you get treated differently. I'm not going to say the reason why. I don't know what the reason why is. I know it doesn't fall. I don't like it when any of them are doing this stuff. So I can't personally say it's this. I can't personally say it's that. It's just the crazy regardless who the person is. But I can certainly see the gripe like, oh, okay, so I'm going to go. Y'all telling me crazy. I do crazy. Then I even fundraise for the crazy. And then y'all don't reward me. So I get where Crockett's coming from. Even though I don't like her style, even though I definitely don't like her policies or her politics, I think if you're going to go with a particular team and they're going to tell you we want you to do a certain thing or we expect this, even if they don't say it explicitly, but this is what they're rewarding, you do it and then you don't get the reward. That sucks. So that's my opinion. I'd like y'all to let me know, what do you think about all this? Let me know down in the comments, but before you do, please stop, hit the share button. Share this video out over email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all of your favorite social mediums. And of course, if you're not a subscriber, subscribe for the baby. Can y'all hear her talking? Subscribe for the baby. She makes an appearance every once in a while. Right, Ava? Okay. And of course, y'all, if you're like me, if you're 45 or older, I'm 45. I got a 0-year-old here. I got to think about retirement. I got to think about all kinds of stuff. I can't be affording to lose my money in the stock market to upsies, downsies, roundsies, and roundsies. Go to Paralegold, PARALEGOLD.com. Find out why gold can help you resist the craziness in the markets. Or call my partners at Augusta Precious Metals at 844-651-8334. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all. We'll see you back in the next one.
If the Democrats take over after the midterms next year, the House and or Senate, do you think they're going to push for investigations into Trump's family and the whole crypto acquisitions that he is getting?
Well, Alex, I'm glad you asked.
Oh, here we go.
Listen, so long as we end up taking the House, which I fully anticipate that we will do, and we are going to work hard to obviously help our Senate colleagues as well, then as someone who serves on the Oversight Committee and hopes to lead the Oversight Committee, I can guarantee you that we will do what we are supposed to do as constitutionally sworn members of the House, which means that we will conduct oversight. That means that we will investigate. We will look at whether or not this president himself has violated the emoluments clause as it relates to, say, such things as getting a $400 million plane from the Qataris. We also will make sure that we're looking into all these business deals that they have going on. I mean, think about it this way, Alex. They were going after Hunter because he sat on a board. Think about how much money they are raking in, whether we're talking about the next golf resort that they're setting up in Qatar, or whether we're talking about them leveling Gaza, as they've talked about, and talked about how it would be great beachfront property, whether we're talking about this crypto scam, the scam that people didn't even want to walk into and show their faces. Let me tell you, there is no shortage of things for us to dig into and determine whether or not there have been not only violations of the law, but definitely violations of our Constitution as a whole.
Did you make a little news here? Didn't you say you hope to lead that committee?
I absolutely do. Unfortunately, we are going to lay our dear colleague, Jerry Conley, to rest here on Tuesday. And there will have to be an election to determine who is going to lead the Oversight Committee. And ultimately, I am hoping and praying that my colleagues see that I can provide what we need as a team to make sure that we can move forward and instill some confidence in the American people by knowing that they have a real fighter who will not back down, even in the face of all the threats that I will have waged at me, because Lord knows I get death threats every single day. But at the end of the day, I truly believe that God will never leave my side. And so I will fight fearlessly and ferociously for the American people.